Hi everybody from TechnoLost, so welcome to the final video review for this HTC Butterfly S. This is version 901S, which means that this is the LTE capable version. So let's sum up and recap some hardware specs of this device. We have the CPU, which is the APQ8064T, aka the Snapdragon 600 CPU. It's clocked at 1.9 GHz. It's a quad-core CPU with a production service of 28 nanometers. Then we have the GPU, which is the Adreno 320, and we have the RAM, which is 2 GB of DDR2 LPDDR2 RAM. We have then this gorgeous, beautiful, I don't know how I can tell you, this wonderful display, which is 5 inches. With a resolution of, it's a full HD resolution. It's 1080p, so we have 1920 for 1080p pixel, with a density which is more or less 441 pixel per inch, quite a high density indeed. Then we have, as I told you, this is version 901S, which means that it's LTE category 3 capable device. So we have 100 megabit per second download speed and 50 megabit per second upload speed, and we have pentaband LTE, so it's a great device for what concerns connectivity wise. Then we have the camera, the front-facing camera, 2.1 megapixel, capable of shooting HDR picture 2, and we have the famous ultra pixel sensor, which is nothing but a 4 megapixel backside illuminated sensor, which is 1:3, so it's a little bit bigger than usual for what concerns of course a smartphone camera sensor. And we have this lens, which is f2.0, so quite a bright lens and very fast. We have then the internal memory, which is 16 GB, but here finally we have the micro SD card slot expansion, so you won't have any kind of problem for what concerns internal memory. Then we have this unibody design, of course, here, but this is just made of plastic, or to be more precise, this is nothing but polycarbonate, so it's the same old stuff for what concerns materials. We have this glossy back, which is to me not that nice, because glossy, it's nothing but fingerprint magnet, as you may imagine, of course. But the design is, at least to me, very nice. It's very comfortable to hold in hand thanks to this back curve this here, and it's very well, the weight is well distributed all over the device. Then we have this huge internal battery, which is 302,000 mAh, so one of the biggest battery actually on the top-notch devices into the Android panorama. So this is the hardware for what concerns the HTC Butterfly S. So now let's give a look to the software. Here we are directly version 4.2.2 for what concerns Android. Of course we have Sense 5.0. Just let me show you. Here we go. And this is nothing but the same software release that we can find into, for instance, the cousin HTC One. Well, we have here Sense 5.0 with all the enhancements due to this new update to version 4.2.2. The first one that comes into my mind, which is one of the most useful, is the quick power toggle here. So this is very nice. Finally, we have here the quick power toggle that we don't have, for instance, into the previous version of Sense 4.0 that we could find into the HTC One, for instance. But the only PD here is that we cannot select what exactly to put into this menu for concerning power toggle, of course. Then we have the, as I told you, Sense 5.0, which doesn't have all the vision bells of the previous Sense version, but it's extremely fast, let me tell you. So we don't have any kind of 3D effect, but as you can see, is extremely fast. We have this new app drawer concept, having this weather and time widget directly into the app drawer. We can use folders directly into the app drawer, and the scrolling is nothing but vertical scrolling. So this is the app drawer for the new Sense 5.0. We have, of course, this pinch to zoom gesture just to reveal all the home screens, and we can even add widget, or we can, for instance, move home screen aside to another. We can even select what to use as home screen, but as usual we cannot remove the blink feed home screen, and this is really, nor we can even, you know, move it another position. This is just a little bit a pity. Then we have, of course, talking about blink feed, we have of course blink feed, which is nothing but a news hub where we can read all our news. This is really interesting. We can of course select all the into the settings all the news feed that we want to include into this blink feed. Well, as I told you, blink feed is very good. The only downside is that maybe sometimes, or someone would like just to completely remove blink feed, but it's not possible, neither in this version 4.2.2. Then we have as usual, we have the very good HTC keyboard. Sorry, here we go, which is very good. And now with this even bigger display, it's you know, easier to write using this keyboard. Oops, we even have, as you can see, we have a swipe just to type, or we can even of course type. We have many settings. We can, for instance, decide where to or not to activate a swipe gesture. Even we can even decide the color of this swipe, and we can decide where to use or not the arrow, which will reveal here in the first row on the lower side. And we can then use this very useful lens selector just to correct the text, which is to me one of the most useful things that several OEM use. And this implementation into the HTC Butterfly S, as well as it was for the HTC One, of course, it's very well done. I mean, there's no problem. It's completely smooth and extremely precise. So very good job for the HTC Butterfly S. What concerns this lens, I do remind you that you have to activate this lens into the accessibility menu and not into the one regarding the keyboard. Then what else? We have a few settings like the one regarding the battery power saver. Forgot where is it. Here we go. Power saver. We can select whether or not to you know, save battery power via CPU, managing with lower frequencies the CPU, of course, reducing the display brightness, or turning off vibration feedback, and even, you know, to put sleep when screen is off. So we can just decide to put the screen to completely disable data connectivity when the screen goes off. So this is what concerns battery saver. I mean, it's not exactly the most needed things into this device, as we have a very huge battery, but nevertheless it's always good to save some battery. So these are more or less all the new stuff and things coming with this HTC Butterfly S. It's, just to be honest, it's nothing completely new in respect of the same update into the HTC One. It's nothing but the same software. Then let's give a look to the multimedia side of this device. Just to remind you that if you want to have a deeper look at the multimedia side of this device, you may directly get into the multimedia focus I made for this device, so you will have much more details. So I will just perform a quick recap here. We have, let me tell you, a multimedia beast here, both for what concerns camera, which is very good. The most interesting things for what concerns camera is that it's is actually one of the most reliable one into the Android market. I mean, you can always rely on the camera. You can always be sure that you will take the shot that you want, and this is very important to me. Let me tell you, it's not easy to find in other Android devices. Then we have the for what concerns the took the wrong video. We can, okay, sorry guys, we have the video recording capability of the device, which is very good too. We don't have problem in taking video with this device, as well as we don't have too much problem reproducing video, as you can see. For what concern MP4, we have some problem from ENG for what concern AC3 codec, but you know, all these kind of little things like the problem with the AVI file, for instance, can be easily solved using a third-party player like MX Player or Dice Player, for instance. So overall, we have a very good device for what concerns multimedia side. And you must of course remember that we have this gorgeous display, 5 inches, perfect color saturation, perfect viewing angles. It's really a pleasure. Maybe one of the best display actually on any Android device. So what else? This is all for what concerns. I mean, we even have talking about the multimedia side and the audio stuff. We can say that the speakers are very good, at least for what concern mobile smartphones speakers. These are very good. They can even, you know, be used to listen to music quite easily. So this is everything for what concerns multimedia side. I do remind you that if you want more in-depth view of the multimedia capability of the device, you can see the dedicated focus I made on the HTC Butterfly S. Now let's give a look to another very important thing, which is the browser into this HTC Butterfly S. As well as it for you know, it's the same. Sorry guys, it's the same browser of the HTC One. So which means that it's a stock browser, which has at least 2 great advantages. The first one is that we can go full screen using the quick navigation bar like this, coming from a side, you know, sliding in from a side with a finger. You got the quick navigation bar, which is extremely useful to me when I surf the web. Then we have flash capability, which is another great stuff. Just let me turn on Wi-Fi. Okay. Oh, let's get into the browser. Here we go. And let's get into Repubblica home site. This is one of the Italian newspaper, one which has a very heavy website. So it's quite useful for testing, browser testing. As you can see, the browser has no problem even while still, you know, loading the page. It's very fast, both for what concerns scrolling or pinch to zoom or even panning, you know, no problem at all. And of course, as I told you, we even have Flash with this stock browser. And if we tap here, we load the Flash plugin, as you can see, and the browser has no kind of problem. Even with the Flash plugin loaded, it remains still completely fast, smooth, no kind of problem at all, which is such a pleasure. Let me tell you, we even have here, which is quite useful, the text reflow. So if we just, you know, okay, zoom in. Oh, this is not happening now. What's up? Okay, here we go. Here we are. We have the text reflow while zooming in, or zooming out, which is really interesting, especially on small display devices like smartphone. Although I do remind you that here we have 5 inches. So this is nothing new. Even here it's the same browser that we could find into the HTC One, which is one of the best browsers actually on the market. But here it's even better because we have a bigger screen, of course. So this for what concerns the browser. So let's sum up and you know, see the pro and cons of this device. Speaking about the cons, we have of course the fact that blink fit is not removable, which is really a pity, but it's nothing new even here in respect of the HTC One. Sorry, zoom out. We have then the fact that we have very good pictures, as I told you, but maybe the only downside is that we cannot, for instance, decide where or not, you know, the only downside is not that we can decide anything, sorry, it's that we have just 4 megapixels. In a few situations, like if you use to watch this picture into display with a resolution bigger than the Full HD, you may find that the picture are already zoomed in at the maximum details. They are always watched at 1:1, so you must if you want to zoom in, you will lose quality, and it's in some situation it's maybe annoying. Nevertheless, for everything else, this is a very good device, very good picture. Maybe it's one of the best camera actually in the market, because it's one of these camera that you can really rely on. You can always use the camera in any kind of situation, and you won't find any kind of problem. You will always take the picture that you wanted to take. This is not a bad thing at all, let me tell you. Then we have that maybe we don't have the best materials actually on the market. This is nothing but polycarbonate, so maybe some of you would have liked to find better materials into the HTC Butterfly S, but once more, maybe having not polycarbonate and then using something like aluminum maybe would have meant that this would have been, I don't know, HTC One S, or no, maybe not One S, because we already had the One S, but the Super One, don't know. This is the update for what concerns HTC Butterfly, of course. So the other stuff, the other cons is about materials, and then we have of course another cons which deals with the weight and dimension. Of course, this has a 5-inch screen, so it's a bigger screen, which means the device is a little taddier, heavier, and it's a little bit bigger, but it's not that much after all. And moreover, having this curved back here does really make you feel comfortable, all this device in your hand, and the weight, it's very well distributed all over the smartphone. So maybe, as you may see, all these downsides are not such big downside, because some of them are already present into the HTC One. So maybe the only big downside is the fact that this device is it's not easy to find. Not easy, because HTC didn't want to lose market share with its HTC One, which is considered the 2013 flagship device. So it just output this device to very few market, and this is really a pity. Now let's speak about the pro, which are to me more than the cons. The first one, maybe even the design. I mean, we don't have premium materials, that's right, but the design, at least to me, is not bad after all. It's very, very good unibody design, of course polycarbonate one, with these red grills for what concerns the speakers, which are really, really nice. We have 3 different colors: red, white, and gray. Then what else? As I told you, we have a gorgeous display. I'm not scared to tell you that this one is maybe the best display actually on any smartphone. It's really, really great. It has great viewing angles, great brightness, so it's easy to use it under direct sunlight. It's 5 inches is the best spot for me, side spot at least. It's very, very good because it's quite big but still comfortable to bring it with you all day long. It's very, very sharp, 4 and 41 pixel per inch, which is very, very good. And it has a very good color saturation, so you don't have the oversaturated color of the AMOLED screen, but neither the washed out colors of the Sony Xperia Z. This is the perfect spot even for what concerns color saturation, at least to me. Very, very good display for this HTC Butterfly S. Then we have the camera, as I told you, although maybe 4 megapixels in some situation, maybe not too much. Nevertheless, this is one of the most reliable camera, which is to me a very good pro. Then we have, of course, the fact that the audio coming from these 2 stereo speakers, as well as it was for the HTC One, it's very good for what concerns mobile smartphone. We have the possibility to use the IR blaster, so we have the TV remote app, which is quite useful in some situation. And what else? We have even the FM radio, which I know that for some of you may be really interesting, and some of you may may be disappointed from the Galaxy S4 because it doesn't have the FM radio. Here we have FM radio and it's working real well. We have an extremely fast and smooth devices. It's very fast. I mean, it was even the HTC One was very fast, but here we even have a slightly faster CPU, so we gain some frames for what concern games, and maybe the best pro of everything, together with the fact that we have, of course, the micro SD slot. That to me is very important, because I bring with me quite a lot of music. It's the fact that we have a huge 3200 mAh battery, which is an extremely good battery, even better than the one found into the Galaxy Note 2. You can reach up to 2 full days, of course having a medium usage, not a heavy usage, but it's very good. Maybe only devices like the Droid Max having a 3500 mAh last better than this one, but we have to remind that here we have 5 inches display and we have a quad-core CPU clock at 1.9 GHz, so this is a very good result for what concerns this battery. So if we sum up everything what we have here, we have a wonderful device. To me, this is really even better than the HTC One, because it has all the things that I like in the device, being able to expand the internal storage using micro SD, is an LTE capable pentaband. We have a huge battery, which means 2 days of use, and we have this gorgeous 5 inches display with an extremely fast CPU, which is the 1.9 GHz Snapdragon 600. The only real downside is that this device is not that easy to find. Well, for what concerns this video review of the HTC Butterfly S, that's all. If you like the video, please give me a like and subscribe to the channel. Once more, thanks for watching, and bye from TechnoLost.